Hey, it's Trey, and welcome to Friday Freebies or whatever I called this. Sample Freebie Friday. I don't remember. But it's when we go. Dover puts out their free samples on Friday, and this is from one of their books. If I'm not mistaken, it was Playful Pets Talk. And this one's actually pretty special to me because my cat's missing. I actually started this and my video got corrupted. I'm coloring with Fila pencils. I think that I have like 160 of them. And I've picked out iron red and dark coffee because Rocky was a dark cat. She was a calico, a special kind of calico called a tortoise shell or a tortie. They're known for their attitudes. They call it tortitude. And yeah, she definitely had an attitude, but she was the sweetest cat. We actually went to adopt a different cat. We wanted an orange cat, and we were going to name it Rocky Top for Tennessee, the Vols. And we went and we saw this little cat. I believe her name was Ginger. And we were all set to get her. And while we were waiting, there was this other cat whose name was Fiji. And Fiji was just the sweetest little thing. Fiji just kept like coming over to us and loving on us, like through her cage. So we kept going like down to her cage because we had to wait a long time for them to come to get there because it was a Sunday afternoon. So we had to wait for a long time. We kept going over to Fiji's cage, which Fiji became our cat, became Rocky Top. So while we were waiting, we kept talking about how beautiful Fiji was and how loving she was. And we decided, I was like, okay, we need to decide, are we going to go home with this other cat, Ginger, or we want to take Fiji home with us? And everybody decided that, yeah, they wanted to take Fiji. That Fiji was the one everybody wanted. We were in agreement. So when they came, we asked for Fiji, and we had to sign a whole bunch of paperwork saying that we would never ever put her with another cat because apparently she could not tolerate other cats. And we're like, well, that's fine. We just want one cat. So we got her, we brought her home. She walked in the door. She wasn't a bit timid. She walked in like she owned the place. And she just immediately put that tail up in the air and she trotted right up the steps. She never hid. You know, a lot of cats will like hide and be timid, and she wasn't. Rocky was never a timid cat. If the doorbell would ring, she'd be right there at my feet wanting to know who it was and wanting to be acknowledged. And if you didn't acknowledge her, she would meow until you did. She was not one to be left out. What did I do with my pencil sharpener? So I was telling my mother-in-law about this cat, and she was like, oh, where'd you get it? And I told her. And she's like, oh, I was just down there the other day. And she said there was this hell cat that was out there. It was spitting and cussing, and it was horrible. It was a horrible cat. I was like, really? It's like, we didn't see any cat like that. So she came over that night to meet our cat. And she walked in and she said, oh, my word. I was like, what? She said, that's that cat that I was talking about. And I was like, no way. She's so sweet. And she is. I mean, as soon as my mother-in-law came in, she went over there and rubbed on her and welcomed her to the house. She was always good with my son, Kenan, who was pretty young at the time and extremely ADHD, so quite a bit rough. She was always really tender with him. So, yeah. It was hilarious that Yeah, Rocky ended up being that cat. Rocky was a really good cat. I never expected she and I to bond that closely. Since I didn't raise her from a kitten, we adopted her as an adult cat. So she was probably about 5 when we got her. But she trusted me totally. And I don't know if it stemmed from this incident or not, of the reason why she trusted me, or if she just trusted me, period. But first of all, she loved to be outside. We did not want her to be an outside cat at all. We wanted totally an inside cat. And she absolutely refused to be inside. She wanted to be outside, and especially if we were outside, because she wanted to be where we were. So we just finally gave up the fight of trying to keep the cat inside the house, because it became the battle that every time the door was open, she'd run out and all that. So I finally just said, fine, you want to be an outside cat? You can be an inside outside cat. Um, so, anyways, we had about 3 or 4 pit bulls that lived up the street. And I mean, oh man, these were what you think of when you think of pit bulls. These weren't the sweet little baby ones. These were attack dogs. They were bred to be attack dogs. And they were kept behind huge fences, and they were scary. I hated to walk by that house because they would jump at that fence and slam against it and snarl, and I just knew one day they were going to get out and kill me. Well, they did get out. They got out one day and they got a hold of my cat. And I was actually at Bible study at the time, and our neighbor happened to see it because they chased her into to her yard, and so she went out and was able to chase the dogs off. Which, how she did that, I have no idea, but she saved Rocky's life, absolutely. So she came over and got Jeremy and Kenan and told them what had happened, and so they went and looked for Rocky, and Rocky just, there's nothing. So they came when I came home. They told me what happened, and so I went out and I went over to where she was attacked. And I said, Rocky, and she immediately went, meow, meow, and just the most pitiful, loudest cry ever. It just broke my heart. And I found her. She was like under the trampoline, and she was trying to crawl towards me. So I picked her up, and I couldn't see her injuries, but I picked her up as gently as I could. And any time that she would meow, I would put her down and let her rest for a second until I got her into the house. And when I got her into the house, like if you're looking at this part of the cat, like right behind it was just a big bite mark. It was horrible. It was horrible. Oh, Jeremy's coming. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, she had been bitten pretty bad, and I used to work for a vet, so I treated her as best I can. Really, with cats, there's not really much you can do. So I cleaned her wound out really well, and she allowed me, which I was really surprised. But I was as gentle as I could be, and when she would meow and whatever, I would stop and kind of pause and comfort her, and then we'd start again. So it's almost like she knew I was trying to help her or whatever. I can't explain it, but I put her in her little bed, and I put everything near her, and I stayed home from work that whole week and just nursed her, and just made sure that she ate and drank and was comfortable. And she was just such a wonderful cat. Every time that my husband would come home from work, even though you could tell she did not feel good, and it hurt to move, she would, every time that she would hear him downstairs coming in the house, she would get up and she would gingerly walk across the floor and then sit at the top of the stairs and greet him. And then after he would say, "Hey, Rocky Tops, you have a good day. How you feeling?" and all that, and get a couple little scratches. She would go and lay back down in her bed. It was just so sweet. She was such a good girl. I just miss her so much, and I just cannot even believe she's gone. I threw out her dry food today, and that just about broke me. Because to me, that's like giving up hope that she's coming back. But everybody's like, "Oh, you never know. Cats can be gone for like 2 weeks and still come back." And it's like, yeah, I'm well aware of that, but I highly doubt that that's going to happen with my cat. Just because she didn't like to stray. We have predators in the area. I mean, we have coyotes and we have hawks, and she was a small cat. She was under 10 pounds. So I'm thinking more than likely the hawk got her. Oh, the day that she went missing, Monday morning, she had gotten into the habit of staying out at night, which I hated. I hated her doing that. But, she would drive you crazy. I think I want to do my colorless splendor instead. She would drive you crazy. She would absolutely drive you crazy if she wanted to go out. She would not hush. She would not stop. It's that tortitude in her. She wants what she wants when she wants it. And she would want to go out. And lately she'd been doing that a lot. And one night I made her stay in, and she cried all night long. She kept me up all until I think like 3 a.m. I finally gave up and just went and let her out because she would not stop. So she'd gotten into that bad habit of staying outside, so I wasn't really surprised that something's happened. And usually in the mornings, about 7:30, she would come in to get something to eat, and I would just open up the back door, and she'd come in, and I'd be working, and she would um, meow, and then I'd get up and feed her. Well, Monday we had all kinds of problems, and I was just sitting there working, and all of a sudden I realized it was 10 o'clock and Rocky wasn't in. So I went out and started looking for her, and there was a hawk that was circling over the trees, like really low, like where she likes to go and lay. And I kind of assumed that that's where she um, slept at night. So when I saw that hawk, because it was really low in the sky. When I saw that hawk, my heart dropped because I just thought then she's gone. She's gone. And I called for her, nothing. I went out a few hours later, called for her, nothing. That evening Jeremy came home. We went out together and called, nothing. And then that night I went back out like at dusk when everything was getting really quiet and called for her and called for her and nothing. Not a peep, not a whimper, not nothing. And I just knew that first night when she did not respond to me, I knew she was gone. And we went out a couple of other times and just kind of half-heartedly looked, but I think both of us kind of know deep down in our hearts she's gone. That if she wasn't dead, that she would respond to us just based on past experience. It's like, yeah, when she got attacked by the dog, she didn't respond to Jeremy and Kenan, but I think she would have. Um, but I think she was just in shock when she got attacked by the dogs, in which what took her a little bit longer. She was just scared and shocked, and then that kind of wore off because it was like a couple of hours by the time I came home from Bible study and called back out for her. But I mean, she immediately, as soon as she heard my voice, she made her way to me. I mean, she was badly hurt. And she definitely was making her way to me because she knew that I was her safety. And like I said, she just trusted me like no other cat. I could do anything to that cat, anything at all. Like even when I took her to the vet and things like that, the nurse would try to hold her, and oh no, she did not like that. But as long as she she was trying to get her shots, and there was a nurse there, and the nurse was trying to hold her, and Rocky was throwing a fit, and I said, Rocky, it's okay, I'm here, you're fine. And she just looked at me, and she just was still. From that point on, she did not move, nothing. She just locked her eyes on mine and just let them do whatever. And they were amazed. I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know. I was like, she just trusts me. It's like she knows that I'm trying to help her and that this is what she has to do, so she's enduring it for me. I can't explain it. Like I said, I never in a million years ever expected us to bond the way we did. Being an adult cat, I thought she'd never trust me fully. And then she ended up trusting me more than any other cat I even raised. From a teeny tiny baby. I even had one cat that I raised, Zephyr, and she wasn't even fully weaned yet when we got her. So she would like try to nurse like on my neck and stuff. So I mean, I was like the only thing she knew, and she was the flightiest little thing. She was very aptly named because she would just, you'd be holding her, and all of a sudden, boom, she's gone. She'd just dart. She was so fast. So yeah, she's gone. My baby's gone. I'm working on another coloring page, a tribute for her, and it's this picture of a cat in the forest, and she's looking at some mice that are playing in the forest. And Rocky used to love to hunt moles, which are kind of like little mice, little rodents. She would bring those suckers in the house alive. Then we'd have to chase little moles around the house. So yeah, that's what I like. That's how I want to think of her, of how she left us. Is that there's a little forest area up from us. I'd like to think that she found her little patch of moles, and she followed them into the deep, dark forest, and that's where she's at. Hunting her moles. So yeah, I'm heartbroken, and it's sad because we're going on vacation next week. So it kind of makes it even doubly sad. But then again, I think about it. Rocky hated when we were gone. Absolutely hated it. Even though I was going to have Kenan come over and stay with her a lot, she hated when we weren't here. So maybe it's for the best that she left us now. I always figured I would outlive her. One can hope, right? So, like I said, I always kind of knew that she would she would probably just not come home one day. I think it's harder on Jeremy and Kenan because neither one of them have had a cat that just left. I don't think that Jeremy really even had any cats, especially none that he was close to. And he was definitely close to Rocky. He loved Rocky. And it's devastated him. He's went out and looked for her. Oh, flashlights and everything. Calling me from work. Have you looked for her today? You know. But I think in his heart of hearts he knows. But yeah, I can't even talk to him about her without him getting kind of misty-eyed. Because she was special to him. She was his grill buddy. Anytime he grilled, she'd be out there with him, hanging out with him, and then he'd always give her like a piece of steak. And she was happy as a clam. She had a good last day. Because Sunday, Jeremy grilled up some really nice steaks. And sometimes when he would like give her steak and whatever, she wouldn't really eat it right off. She'd just let it sit there. But he said that um, when he grilled, he gave her a piece of steak and she just gobbled it right up and then just loved on his leg. And so he like gave her another big piece and she gobbled it right up. So they had a good time together. And then that evening she came in and she got on my lap and she gave me little snuggles. And she went over to Jeremy and gave him bunches of snuggles. And then she walked out the door and we never saw her again. It's so sad. If you just knew that that was the last time. But then again, if I knew that was the last time I was going to see her, I wouldn't have let her go. And if it was her time to go, she needed to go. Because I'd much rather her go this way than see her waste away and be in pain. And it's just my prayer and my hope that she didn't suffer. I'm hoping she went and that it was painless. Because that's all one can hope. Alright, I want to try some blends here. I just grabbed some random pencils. Ugh, I don't like that. I do kind of like that orange though. Maybe a darker blue. Probably more towards a purple. Maybe a dark purple. Riveting, right? Just trying to figure out if I want to do like a complementary or the color that's across from the to do a shadow, or if I want to do like a dark orange to a light orange. Is there enough contrast there? If you hear any music in the background, I think that'll work. If you hear any music in the background, it's because I've got like copyright-free music going. Because it is like really hard to sit here and talk to yourself. Even if you are talking about your beloved cat. It still gets hard. So we are going on vacation next week, next Thursday. There won't be any free sample Friday next week because I'll be in Denver, Colorado. Yay! I'm looking forward to that. We've never been there, and we wanted to go someplace that we thought that even if it was shut down, that we could still enjoy. And I think that's definitely that because the beautiful mountains and natural parks, national parks, natural parks. So yeah. But I think a lot of the stuff's open and we'll be able to social distance. We got some masks and all that, so it'll be good. I'm looking forward to getting away because I tell you what, work's been insane lately. I worked 43 hours this week. Ugh. It was horrible. I don't even usually like to work 40 hours, much less 43 hours. So I'm doing some really rough kind of blending on this. I'm pressing pretty hard. I'm not really doing a lot of light layers. I did light layers on my dark color at first. But I don't, I did light layers on the cats because to me, I want them to be kind of a light, but I want them to kind of stand out. I used warmer colors. I went over the line. Warmer colors on the cat. And I'm going to do these nice warm oranges. I don't know what I'm going to do for this outside blend or outside thing. But I think that looks nice. What do y'all think? I may end up having to go in and make the cats darker, but we'll see. We'll do this for now. We don't have to make any hard decisions. Found out that my clogging competition, I was supposed to have a clogging competition on, was it August the 1st? Yeah. And it has been canceled. So I'm kind of sad and I'm kind of glad all at the same time because that'll be like 2 days after we get back. And I know that I'm going to be so tired. And I definitely have to work that Friday. If you're hearing all kinds of weird sounds in the background, that would be my phone notifications. Because I forgot to turn them down. So I'm getting notifications from like Facebook, and I just heard like my drink water. Because I have a notification that every hour will notify me that, hey, you should be hydrating, time to drink some water. If I don't have my 8 glasses in. So I don't have my 8 glasses in for today yet. So it is telling me, yo, drink your water, girl. And that would be a Facebook message. Ah, so beautiful. I like it. I think that looks good. So I'm going to do these and that, and then we'll decide from there what we're going to do from there. And how long I'll keep you here watching me color. I think that's one of the reasons why I've been doing like the alcohol markers, because it's so much faster than like pencil. So does anybody here follow me on Instagram? Because I always post these finished on Instagram. If you're curious, my handle is Hey It's Trey, and I got it linked down below in the description if you'd like. Is that one? I can't. Let's do these and then I'll decide what about that. So I'd love to see you over there at Instagram, and hit me up. I'll definitely follow you back. I'm sorry if I sound all stuffed up, but it is because I am absolutely stuffed up. I tell you, every time that I go outside, I come back in and I feel terrible. I cannot garden or anything. Today, my aunt brought over some baby stuff for my grandson, and we sat outside and talked for a while. And when I came back in, holy cow, I felt horrible. And ever since then, I've just been so stuffed up. I just can't hardly breathe. It feels like there's so much pressure in my sinuses. It's like my sinuses just immediately swell. And it's awful because I've lived here nearly all my life. I left for about 5 years and came back. And there's been like a couple of years that I've felt a little bad, but not too bad. Didn't really bother me or anything. You know, it's kind of like, I'd sneeze a little bit maybe, or my nose would be runny. But I'm telling you, this year, ugh, I feel horrible. I hope this isn't a portent of things to come. I hope that this is just because of the year with all the dust and all that, because we got the big Sahara dust cloud. Thank goodness a big mummy didn't come with it or something. So yeah. But I had went to the doctor the other day, and she said that it's been really bad. She's had all kinds of people coming in because of it. And I know I think I've told you all that before, so there you go. Repeating myself. I'm old, I can do that. Oh, I got a new eraser somewhere and I forgot to bring it in here. But look, I went over the line again. Why do y'all even follow me? I'm a terrible colorist. I had this huge drink over here because my husband stopped at our local gas station. Suck some snot in. Oh man! My tip just went flying. No! I hate that. You know what I do in cases like this? I don't know if y'all have even seen me do this. Let's see if I can. Oh, here it is. I get brush on nail glue. And then I brush the inside pretty good. And then I stick my tip back on. just as pretty as you please, and I let it dry for a few minutes. So yeah, this is basically like super glue, and the brush on is so much better. I also have like a little thing of super glue, but it tends to dry, and then it's hard. It's hard to use. Darn it. Oh, crap. Now I have to wait. I guess I can try to sharpen this one and hopefully it won't go flying. I am moving my sharpener, not my pencil. I think this pencil sharpener's just about had it. This is one of my favorites though, so. Because it really sharpens pretty well, but it may be on its last legs. Alright, I think it's pretty good. The only thing that's horrible, well, I don't want to say horrible, but that's hard about when you glue your lid back on like that, is when you get down to that glue part, it gets kind of scratchy. But it's fine, because then when you get to that part, you can usually just sharpen it out and it's fine. But yeah, I cannot stand it when I sharpen my pencil and then it breaks immediately. Ugh, I just, That's originally what I hated about Prismacolors, because every single time that I would sharpen them, they would break. And it would be like I would just waste half a pencil sharpening it. And I think that's where I started gluing my um, leads back in, because I think I had like some super glue, because I was wearing like false fingernails at the time, and I had a little bottle of super glue on my desk because that's what I used to put my nails on. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to glue this sucker back in there. And it worked great. And so I just started doing that from now on. And I just do it with all my pencils, from Crayolas to whatever. Speaking of Crayolas, I just bought the 100 set of Crayolas. And I've decided that I want to learn how to use them. Because, I mean, gosh, they're so cost effective. You can get 100 box for $15. So I've been kind of working on that lately to see if I can teach myself how to work with Crayolas, and they're just so different than any other pencil. So it's really a challenge. These Fila's I got, they're pretty super cheap too. I think these were like $28 for 160, which is not bad for, a artist grade type pencil. And I can't remember if these were wax based or oil based. They were probably wax based. But I like them pretty well. I don't use them that much. Sometimes they tend to be streaky, and it's really the color. Some colors are streakier than others, but I like them pretty well. I also have a set of Castle Art, and oh, I used to really love those. Those were my go-to pencils for a long time. But what I don't like about them is that they're not numbered. So it's just really hard to like find what you want. So when I did all these swatches, I actually went in and numbered them. And now, but they're just in a tin because I threw away the trays. So I really need to find out some way to hold them, a pencil holder. And I actually made a really cheap one for my Crayolas. I'll have to show you guys sometime. I just used hot glue and like that stuff that you put under rugs to hold them. And then like some fabric tape at the bottom. So just really cheap. Because I didn't want to have to buy a new pencil case. Hey, it worked, so there you go. What works, works, is what I say. But I actually broke it down into 2 rolls because I thought having 100 spread out was just too much. And honestly, now that I have the 100 pack, I think I could have just gotten the 50 pack and been just as happy. So, I don't know what colors are in the 50 pack, but these pencils are a harder pencil. I just said I haven't been turning my pencils and then just totally cranked my pencil. But they lay down pretty good. And you can still blend with them really well. Well, okay, I'm not going to say really well. Come on, they're not Prismas. The one pencil I would really love to have is Polychromos. Oh, those are my dream pencils. That's what I want. I'll probably never get them. I probably will end up upgrading to like a Prisma. I do have a small set of Prisma 24, but if I had like a 50 set or a 60 set, I think I'd be happy. So I may do that. And I also have, did I mention this? I can't remember now. I don't think I did. But not too long ago, I got a set of 72 pencils by Lyndon Norberg. Norberg and Linden. I always say it backwards. Norberg and Linden. And they look a lot like the Castle Art ones. And I like them. I like them a lot. And they came in a pretty nice case. Like a cardboard case, not a tin, but you know, hey, it works. So I'm just leaving those in there. So I've been using those quite a bit, but you know, hey, those pencils aren't open stock either. So that's why I thought that I would try to learn to use the Crayola, because even though they're not open stock, I mean, come on. You can find Crayolas anywhere cheap. I've been watching some videos and stuff on how to use Crayolas. And like I said, I've been experimenting with them. And you can't really blend with them the way you can, but you can blend some. So it's almost like a straight coloring with a slightly blend, which is pretty much what I do anyways. I don't do a lot of major blending. I just kind of like do blending with drop shadows. I'm just not that big of a blender. I'm definitely not into like light layers on, well, you know, I watch some color alongs and they are like blending for days. And I'm just like, no, no, I don't have, I've got too many coloring books and so less patience. Dang it, I keep coloring over the lines. Than to sit for hours and blend in one tiny flower. I just, One or two layers is all I want, and then I'm done. Get in here with my blendy pencil, see if I can make it a little smoother. And of course, right now, you know, I'm not even using the best paper here. I'm using printer paper, my standard copy paper. I pushed way too hard with that blender pencil and took my pigment right out. I hate when I do that. It happens sometimes. I cannot hear my music anymore. I don't know if it stopped or what. Oh well. You got any plans for the weekend? Hit me up down below and let me know. I'd love to hear what everybody's doing. My friend has a boat and he's been, oh no, that's broken too. Ah! He has a boat he's been trying to fix up and get, I'm not on camera, to fix up and get going. It's actually his father's boat, and he's been storing it at his house for quite a while. And this year he told his dad, "You're going to have to do something with this boat. It's been sitting here for 3 years, and you've not done anything. So you're either going to have to sell it to me, or you're going to have to just get it off my property because I can't stand this just sitting here." So his dad actually said, "You know what? You can have the boat," which was really nice because he didn't make him pay for it. But then again, he's also sunk in probably about $1,000 in it. He thought he had it up and running last weekend. He had taken it to the shop. He'd done a lot of work on it himself, but there was this, it still wasn't starting. So he had wired it and everything and had rewired. He didn't rewire it. He reran the wires. That's what he did. And it still wasn't starting. So he took it to this boat mechanic, and the guy did rewire it totally and found that whoever had originally wired it had messed up the colors of the wires. So even though my friend was wiring it up, based on the colors correctly, it wasn't correct. So that was the problem. So when the guy just totally took out all the wires and just rewired it, and it started right up. So he and my other friend took the boat out, and this is what's so funny, is when he went to go get his boating license, she decided that she was going to get her boating license too, because she was just really interested in that. And so they go out onto the lake, and they're on the lake with this boat, and she's driving the boat because he's like, "Do you want to drive?" And she's like, "Sure." And so she's driving the boat, and she turns to him and goes, "I've never been in a boat before." Oh, to me, that's just so crazy. I just love it. She's never been in a boat before, and the first time she's ever been in a boat, she just immediately drives it. I love it. But while they were out on the lake, they blew out the propeller, and they had to get a new one. And he said it took them like 20 minutes to get back to shore. He said it was horrible. He said it felt like they were never going to get there. He said they were going to like 3 miles an hour. Oh, I love it. So he got the propeller in, and he's putting it in tonight. So I'm thinking they'll probably end up going to the lake tomorrow, but not me. I'm going to try to start packing tomorrow and get some stuff ready. Get the suitcases out of the closet, that kind of stuff. Start thinking about what I want to wear, what I want to take with me, and all that. It's going to be interesting because Jeremy's never flown before. I haven't flown in a long time. And I'm just uber worried that I won't fit in the seat because I'm fat. I hate that. I hate having to worry about stuff like that. And Jeremy's like, "That's so stupid. Of course you'll fit in the seat." But still, you just worry about things like that. Going there, we have a little bit of extra leg room. I don't know if that means we're like on the emergency row or whatever. But we do have a window, so I don't know. Anyways, we do have extra leg room going there, but on back, we're just coach. I'm like, coming back, we probably won't care. And I mean, it's not really that long of a flight. It's like an hour. So, I mean, I can sit cramped up for an hour, right? It'll be fine. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to going out there. We each got like a little backpack, so I'm like trying to figure out what I'm going to take in my backpack and what I'm going to put in my suitcase. Because, you know, what if your suitcase gets lost? You always have to think about that. So, but I mean, it's not like we're going to Ethiopia. I'll be able to go to a Walmart out there and get me some clothes if I need to. Well, the biggest thing is I need to make sure that like my phone and my medicine and stuff like that's in my backpack. And then I also want to make sure I don't overstuff my backpack so that I can put it in the overhead bin and it's no big deal. Or underneath the seat. I'm not taking a laptop or anything because I think we can do everything on our phone, so that'll be fine. I'm making crummies everywhere. Trying to get out of the habit of going with my hand because then it just spurs them. You know, you can spread the color. I'm trying to. I've got this little brush. It's actually a Mary Kay brush for mineral foundation, and I got it like at a thrift store. Like I got a makeup bag, and it came and it was in it. So I think it's very handy. I like it. It's a pretty nice brush. It really makes doing that really easy. I think that looks good. All right, guys, I think I'm going to cut it off here. We've been talking for about an hour. If you want to see the completed picture, hit me up on Instagram. I'll try to get that out pretty soon. I'm going to try to finish this up tonight, but I'm going to go watch some videos and catch up with you guys. If you want to share your coloring channel with me below, please do, because I love finding new people. If you want to do a buddy color with me, hit me up. Let me know what books you have. I may have some. I've got some of Johanna Basford's. If you want to just do a general one, like, hey, let's color a cat or let's color a unicorn, something like that. I'll be up for that too, for a buddy color. I'd really like to connect with you, so hit me up. Let me know that you have a channel, and I'll come check you out, and I'll subscribe, and I'll even feature you on my front of my channel page too. So until next time, bye.